I will show you everything about the secret management, about the OneMount Group. Let me show what we are and who am I. Yep. The first thing is the OneMount Group. If we start the project OneMount in 2 years ago, and we have one product with VinID. VinID is the e-commerce finance service in the application on mobile, and so we do the payment gateway for VinID, and after that we provide the VinShop and one housing for the e-commerce in the Vietnam. And at the moment, we are in the top 5 e-commerce system in Vietnam. And our vision is that we provide the digital financial service in Vietnam for every company in Vietnam, just like the bank, the government, and in the future we will have more product and more systems. And at the moment, we cover around 10 million people and 10 million customers for the e-payment, for the e-commerce, and something like this. This is our OneMount Group. Who am I? My name is Quan, and I am a head of system platform in OneMount Group. And what is system platform team? We provide the API gateway, we provide the message queue system, we provide the low centralized system, we provide the secret management system, and we build everything in the cloud. At the moment, we use the GCP, and in the future, maybe we have some system on the Amazon Web Service or something like the data center on-premise. And my team, we have only 10 people, but we provide everything for the shared system platform, just like Com, we have a Kafka, Confluent, we have a Vault, and we build everything automation with the HashiCorp tool, just like Terraform, Packer, or Vagrant. And this is my team, and this is who am I. In OneMount Group, we have so many problems with the secret management and the certification. We have a PII and sensitive data because we work under the financial service, and so the customer data is PII. We need to encrypt everything and masking every data before we move it into the database, before we move it into the low centralization system, and before we execute everything, just digital transformation or something like ITIL. And we need to secure communication because we build a microservice system, and we need to secure every connection from the one service to another service in our system. And we use the MTLS, we use SASL, we use HTTPS, and everything depends on the certificates and the CA and the PKI or something like this. And so we need to build the system, just cover everything with the encryption, with the store the secret management, with the store the permission and something like. We need to build the system can adapt the user just in the G suite because we use GCP and Google service, and so we have so many users in G suite, and so we need to adapt the application can work with the user from the G suite, can log into the system and retrieve data just like secret or some certificate or something, whatever that they want. And so the problem is the first time that we start the company. For 2 years ago, we find out the Vault, HashiCorp Vault. Yeah, and we think this is our solution to fix everything. When we apply the Vault act like the secret management system, and the problem that in this at that time we facing about how we can do to deploy the Vault into the GCP and Vault into the on-premise because we have infrastructure on GCP and on-premise both, and so we need to cover the on-premise environment and the GCP environment for everything. we just start with the GCP, and in the data center, I can provide the information because it is the sensitive data with us to provide to the world. Yeah, and how we can do deploy everything in GCP. As you can see, the GCP can provide you to the instant group, just like the resource group to start the VM in auto scaling and auto healing feature. And when we think about the instant group, we just think, oh, okay, we can push everything and vault the system of vault packer and compile with the Terraform into the system. Just use instant group and use the GitLab and everything to deploy everything. And so we start with instant group with small subnet. My friend sometimes ask me about why we do everything with a small subnet, because we need to pre-create all the DNS record and import the DNS record into the configuration of the vault server. And so that if you have so many IP into our subnet, we can do create all the DNS record to the configuration of vault. And so that we start with small subnet and we do the vertical scale for vault server. Yeah. After that, we set up the instant group with the backup scaler with the packer for pre-built vault image, and we install vault into the image in GCP and snapshot it and save it into the image, and we configure the instant template with start with the vault image. And when we do the configure the VM, when VM start instant group, we use start script. And you can see that this is my my demo script configuration when we do the start script for vault into the instant group. Yeah. And we use the GCP KMS to store the seal key, because when vault start, they need to unseal the data that encrypted in the vault server. And we store the key to unseal in GCP KMS. And the best practice, we use the wrap storage for everything. We don't use the consoles because we don't need to manage more cluster. We have a vault, and so we don't need to have the console. So that we use wrap. And at the moment, I can tell you about it. We don't have any problem with wrap storage. We can do unseal, we can do the recover every data in the wrap storage in the cluster. Yeah. And as the end, we use Terraform to manage vault resource. We manage the assessment about the permission. We manage the PKI. We create the PKI. We generate the certificates by Terraform, and we use the tools of HashiCorp to manage the secrets management system. When we start the vault cluster, because we use GCP, so that we do everything with the enable the GCP authentication in the vault cluster, and we have LDAP in Google, and so that we do enable the LDAP authentication method in vault cluster, and upload for application, and token is enabled by default for you. We have a 3 use case with vault. At the moment, we have key value store, and the key value store we store the database credential, we store the encryption key, we store so many in key value store. And at the moment, we have around 100 applications running on 100 of GKE cluster, and we have 1 cluster about, and we store the key values involved. And when application start, they will retrieve the secret on key value and apply it into the application running on GKE with port. With sometimes we have some application running on VMs. We do the same thing. Yeah. And we have an application automation script running on cloud. Just like Google App Engine, we use the secret management involved, and we store the secret key value involved and retrieve it in the Google App Engine. The last thing with the key value, my friend just asked me about who can input and export the secrets on key value store. At the moment, we in OneMount Group we use the workflow with only team leader or the C-level can access into Vault and can write out or can retrieve the secret by manual. With application, we have a read-only permission. With application, can retrieve the secret only, can do everything with the secret, can change the secret and something like this. And the second use case, we use the MTOS because we have around the thousands of applications, and with the application communication, we use MTOS. We encrypt everything in our system, and with that, we need to generate the certificate and manage the certificate for the MTOS connection. So we use Vault for this, and we enable the GitOps. We have a CI/CD for the Terraform, and we generate the certificate in the Terraform and automation script. Just SIE team can create it and can write. And after that, we store the certificate in the key value store after generated from the script involved. And Vault can help us to manage the PKI. Certificate is around upon the PKI, but PKI have a CA, have a private key, and we import everything into Vault running on GCP. And Vault can manage and encrypt our PKI with the certificate, CA, and private key, and we don't need to do everything. And certificate with we use both the key, the size certificate, and the generate certificate because Vault can provide us two features with certificate. One is the signing certificate, and one is the generate certificate, and we use both. In this slide, I will show you how we can integrate with the application running in GKE. Because we use GKE and we deploy everything into the pod in GKE around the 90% application running on GKE. And so that we need to integrate everything into GKE, just like authentication and authorization with Vault. And with GKE, we use GCP authentication. We enable the cloud IAM, and we generate the size ZWT for the client. Or with application running on GKE, we do it automatically. And so we do it with the service account. We generate the service account and sign the permission to the service account and deploy the service account into the pod with the workload identity. And after that, pod start in GKE can have a service account, can sign the ZWT, and can connect with Vault with the ZWT that's signed to the GCP. And Vault server can verify the service account with ZWT with to the IAM, cloud IAM. And Vault can identify what application are set to Vault and what the permission that application can do with Vault. Yep, this is our logic when build to use application on GKE with Vault. This is my sample code for the application. You can see that we do everything in code. We size the ZWT with the function in automation. We create the permission and create the token. We create everything involved with Terraform, and we store everything for the configuration on GitLab. And we use the CI/CD to deploy the application and Vault secret automatically. As the last thing that I want to show you about our last use case with PI and sensitive data. Because we have so many problems with the PI and sensitive, we are the financial service, and we provide the financial service to the customer. And our data can show you the information of the customer, just like the name, the mobile phone, and maybe money, the credit card, because we are financial service. And so everything in our data is the PII and sensitive, so that we need to encrypt it and masking everything in our database. We need to anonymize the data before we save it into the database, save it into the cache object storage, just like ECS or something like this. And we need to combine with the PCI DNS compliance. And even now we have so many compliance, that's another different PCI DNS. At the moment, we do everything on application, and so the sensitive and the masking and the anonymizing is depend on the application. We encrypt the data in application. We encrypt and we decrypt the data on application when we retrieve the data from the database. And we have so many applications, and we have so many teams to write down the application, and so that we have so many solutions to encrypt the data in the application. And so this is our problem. At the moment, our expectation is we need one thing to cover the encryption and anonymization. And 2 years ago, when we find out the Vault, we expect Vault can encrypt everything for us. And at the moment, we find out the feature of Vault, just like Vault Transit. And the Vault Transit is the feature that provides when we do input to push the data into Vault Transit, the Vault Transit will respond the data just must, and data are encrypted, and we can save it into the database. We don't need to maintain the logic of application that encrypts the data. We need to test with the transit because we have so many traffic, we have so many applications, and one cluster we don't know how it can serve, or sometimes we have a high load with a big time. How Vault cluster can do and can serve the data as a request is our concern at the moment, and so it's the reason why that we apply it in the future when we do tests and when we do the load test for everything. We apply the Vault Transit into our application, and with the 2 years applying Vault, we have some numbers to make sure we are completely apply the Vault into our system. Just like we have 3,000 certification managed by Vault, and we store around 300 application secrets running on around 100 of GKE cluster involved, and we can serve the hundreds of users. The user is our company's employee. They can log into Vault and they can retrieve the data or something like this. They store the passwords in Vault, and we assign the permission for the user, and we have hundreds of users with hundreds of different permissions. And we at the moment when I talk with you, we have around 3,000 lease token active at the moment. Yeah, it's around 2,000 certificates, 3,000 of the application that's running on our system, and so we have 3,000 of lease token, and we manage Vault with the cluster running on GCP. This is my success completely apply Vault to our system.